Yeah, I tell you what, starting Saturday,
You're live.
it's 45 to 55% chance of storms every day.
And that's gonna hurt.
And all the highs in the 80s, except till next Thursday, starting Saturday.
I've got some time I can take off anyway, but
I ain't gonna lie, if it's not storming, that is perfect fishing time.
yes, Rod him
I mean-
on the way here, he said, we've got to get this boat in the water and go catch some fish.
Yeah, I mean, even though the crappie they're off spawn. Some of the brim are starting on bed. I caught some bedded brim the other day. I caught 20, probably hour and a half. And caught all of them. Had one female. Everything I was catching was little black males. It sure was. All right, we got about 45 seconds. Yeah, I was surprised to see the Land Between the Lakes numbers up like they was. All right, we got about 10 seconds. We okay, Janet? Can you hear us? Okay, good deal. Good deal. Yep. Hello, everybody. I'm Anthony Landry.
I'm Bubba Spencer.
And I'm Keith Haywood.
Hey, we want to welcome y'all to another Tennessee Outside Facebook Live show coming to you live from the Dr. R.E. Wilhite building right here at the Hardeman County Agribusiness Center. And as we always say, if you hunt and fish in Tennessee, this is the show you need to watch because we got a lot to talk about tonight. These turkey numbers is kind of slowing down a little, Bubba.
Yeah, and I imagine it's going to continue to slow down as we get on hotter and warmer.
Yeah, I do too. Hey, we will be taking questions tonight. Still working on a big giveaway, but for right now, anybody that, any question or comment, you will be entered into that already. So, Keith, I'm going to give a shout out to our sponsor, brother.
Absolutely. We have Apex Outdoor Rewards. That's our premier sponsor. Deception Sense, Baker Glass Shop, Second Amendment Outdoors, Big Hill Pond Boat Sales and Repair, Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, Lynnhurst Family Resort, Prym1 Camo, Threeway Processing, Wildlife Addiction Food Plot Services, and as always, a big shout out to Brian Harford and the Crappie Addict Facebook page.
Hey, I also want to give a shout out to Justin Larson with a Premier Farm Realty Group. I talked to Justin today about some stuff, and Bubba, I know you. When I was talking to you, you know Justin.
Yeah, I've known Justin for, 15, 20 years. Justin's very knowledgeable when it comes to deer and outdoors in general.
Yeah, because I know he was telling me that he was with Quality Deer Management, which is now National Deer Association. I think they changed the name.
And he used to hunt down around Hickory Valley for a lot of years.
He told me about that down on Richardson Road. I used to hunt down on Mr. N.T. Richardson's farm myself.
So he sells property. That's what he specializes in.
Yes.
Okay.
And right now he's in Tennessee and Arkansas.
So if anybody's looking to sell property or anybody's looking to buy property, reach out to Justin. They can go to their website, PremierFarmRealtyGroup.com, or you can reach out to Justin directly at 901-275-6815.
And it seems like earlier and earlier every year people start looking for places to deer hunt. Used to, and I mean it's a good trend that I'm seeing. Used to people wouldn't start looking to now that the velvet season opens up. Used to like people start looking about 2 weeks before season opened up. Like, man, we need to find a place to hunt. And a lot of them too is that when they first go to get their leases ready, they find out that landowner's done leased it to somebody else or family's done took it. But people are starting to, look earlier and earlier. I mean.
And, I was looking on the website earlier when we were getting ready for the show. He has a nice listing up in Carroll County.
Really?
Yep.
What's his last name again?
Justin Larson.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, for PremierFarmRealtyGroup.com. They're sort of like in the Midwest and continue south down to Arkansas and Tennessee, and then they go up north, Missouri and
all the way to Minnesota,
Wisconsin, Minnesota, Illinois.
Sure does.
So,
they turn that
anybody looking to buy or sell a piece of property, Justin be a good guy to get in touch with.
Yep, sure would. All right. Hey, we'll give a shout out to the Facebook groups too that allow us to share the show, their page, because we go live now to about 100,000 people, and then we share it to another that puts us well over 1 million. But Tennessee Deer Hunters, and I'm so glad that Westone got that group back going. I mean, that was, in my opinion, it was one of the best groups, because it's several good groups in the nation. But Tennessee Deer Hunters, over 70,000, and I understand Wade Hendricks, our Apex guy, had a lot to do with getting that back up. But, and I've never seen as many people trying to join that group this early.
Yeah, well, that's good.
I mean, it's most time these people are wanting to get in like right before deer season. But I'm telling you, every morning I get up, of course I get email notifications, but they're all on there about wanting to join. And Wes would probably want me to remind everybody, when you do click to try to join that group, you've got to answer those questions before. If you don't answer those questions, we're just going to go down through there, and we are going to decline those right there. But we got Tennessee Deer Hunter, West TN Deer Hunters, Tennessee Woods and Waters, Tennessee Turkey Hunters, Tennessee Bow Hunters, Tennessee Valley Sportsmen, Real West Tennessee Sportsmen, East Tennessee Deer Hunters, Tennessee Rivers and Lakes, Bow Hunters of America, our biggest group, over 230,000. True Hunters and Anglers, my buddy Rob Pachoric in Mississippi. Southern Boys 870 over in Arkansas. Hunting for Connections up in Wisconsin, Miss Dana Sasha. Tennessee Outdoor Info, Tennessee Hunting and Fishing Report, Hunt Swaps of America, Tennessee Outdoors and Hunting, Tennessee Small Game Hunting and Fishing, Middle Tennessee Coyote Hunting. Keith, you want the rest of them right there?
Absolutely, I will. Kentucky Whitetail Hunters, established in August of 2015. West Kentucky Deer Hunters, Do a Country Jig, Pickwick Lake Anglers, Crappie, Cats, Bass, and More, Gamekeepers and Food Plots, Pickwick Lake Fishing Reports, Turkey South, Backwood Hunting and Fishing, Wildlife Hunter Association, Wildlife Snipers, Feathers and Fur, Camel Thugs Outdoors, Bluntville Tennessee Deer Hunters, Back to the Roots Outdoors, Down to Earth Hunting, Tennessee Turkey Hunters, and Hatchie River Fishing Bank Poles.
Yep. And want to remind everybody, too, because I meant to do it a while ago when you said something about Lynnhurst Family Resort. Lynnhurst, if you call to book a trip with Lynnhurst, or a stay up there, because, they got everything you can rent, and, they got condos, every kind of arrangements that you can think of, to stay. But if you mention Tennessee Outside when you book, they will give you a 10% discount right then. That's pretty good right there.
Very good.
Because especially, I know it's a lot of people that go up there and stay 4 to 7 days, and it's pretty relaxing up there, I'm going to tell you, because I get to go up there, and it's pretty nice. Pretty nice. All right, what else are we going to talk about? All right.
We've all had a long day, I think.
Yeah, we have.
Everyone.
Well, we write these little notes on here. Folks may not realize it, but we get here about an hour before, and we have a pre-show meeting
every time
to go over it, to try to make sure we keep everybody as informed on what's going on that we can. And a lot of it comes from questions that we all get during the week, and so we try to make sure we cover them. But, I know it was 2 or 3 people, said, hey, what's some of the highlights from the commission meeting?
Yep.
That were in. Bubba, you want to talk about some of them?
A couple of things that jump out. We have 2 new elk zones, and we have 4 more permits.
Yep.
And so I guess, what does that bring?
19.
19 total.
19 total permits
elk
now.
Permits in the state of Tennessee.
Yep.
Once if you're lucky enough to harvest the elk in Tennessee,
what did it start out with? 4?
I think it was 4.
I think it was 4, and then it went to 6.
I think we're up to almost 100 harvested so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. Close to 100.
But and the 2 more zones, that's pretty good too.
Expanding, yeah.
Yeah. Of course, they had the incidental elk thing because I think they're only supposed to be in 4 or 5 counties, if I'm not mistaken. And if the way the incidental elk rule is, as long as it's a deer season open, whether it's with a gun or bow, if you see an elk outside of the elk zone, you can take 1 bull or cow a year. That's why it's called the incidental elk season right on that. but it's got to. You better make sure it's outside of one of those counties. That's for sure. And I'm sure the agency goes and checks that out on those, isn't it?
I'm sure.
Because I mean that's pretty high profile stuff right there. And some other changes that they did wasn't really changes. There are no changes to the upcoming deer season, bear season, and next year's turkey season.
Everything is staying the same.
Everything is staying the same. The only thing that'll change will just be the incidental dates of the way the calendar is.
Right.
That's it. There's no other changes. But then the commission will reconvene. Well, they meet every month, basically. But then around next April or May, then I know after deer season that they'll start taking the hunters' suggestions and all that. And then around next April, they'll have a meeting to talk about all the suggestions that was sent in. And this is just the way it works while I'm going over it. And then, of course, TWRA will make their recommendations. And then all of that is taken to the commission. Then you got individual commissioners that they want to put their 2 cents in, like what their constituents have talked to them about wanting to change. And then they make amendments, and then they vote on them, and next thing you know, probably by next May, no later than June, the seasons will be set in stone for the next 2 years.
Next 2 years after that.
So that's how it goes. But I know a lot of people, even you and I thought deer season. But
now, that being said, there's other ways that could change the season. There's also a law that could be changed by the lawmakers.
That's right.
And so there's other forms that could also.
And is it just me? But it seems like the lawmakers, and I say lawmakers, that's the people in Nashville. It seems like they're getting more involved than they used to be.
It seems to be.
That's the way it seems to me too. That where you got different state senators or state representatives that, they'll bring up stuff, and it just seems, in my opinion, that they're getting more involved to change things instead of the commissioners do.
Right.
So.
And while we're talking about seasons, there's things coming up for some of your out-of-state stuff. I know a lot of people that go out-of-state, and like Iowa. If I want to go again this year if I can.
Right.
But like, I don't know about Kansas and some other states, but Iowa, starting this Saturday through the month of May, is when you can apply for your out-of-state non-resident. And then you have to pick your zone, what area you're trying to hunt.
Yeah, that's a good point. If you're wanting to go out of state, you need to start looking into that now.
I think the TWRA app, if I'm right, lets us know about our quotas or anything here.
Yeah, it does. It does. And see, the thing is, well, you brought up a good point by doing that, because a lot of people are thinking about deer season now.
That's right.
Whether it's here or out of state, but just like when we broke the news about Chickasaw, going to quota hunts.
Yeah.
Well, the quota hunts had already, we told it as soon as the commission made the change, but a lot of people didn't realize it. And then once the permits was issued, everybody's, come out and said, "You mean Chickasaw's a quota hunt now?"
Right. I got a call on that yesterday.
Yeah.
I was going to go, and they called me yesterday, and I said, "Man, that is a quota hunt now."
Yeah, I had one last week to send me a message, and then they wanted to know, was it a bonus bird? I said, "They're." I think the only bonus birds this year was on Fort Campbell, and that was it. And but he didn't know it was a quota hunt either.
Right.
But yeah, if you and you got to put them in for Chickasaw like that in February.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure on things like I guess President's Island. That'll pop up on the TWA website, I believe.
It will, and that'll probably be in August, I think. I think it's August.
I can't remember when.
No, it may be July.
Yeah, I was going to say July.
Yeah, it's probably July.
It's before August.
It's July.
Point being, just be mindful if you are somebody that's wanting to travel and try to go to other states and hunt.
Yeah.
A lot of states are getting ready to open up for the applications, and they only do it for, a lot of them only do it for 3 to 4 weeks or just a month, and that's it.
And I tell you, I've got a friend of mine that just moved to Wyoming, and you think ours is complicated. You should see Wyoming and trying to put in for, it's getting to the point where there's just going to be very hard, once in a lifetime on some of these tags when you start going out of state and you're really wanting to try to get something special.
And you saying that, Bubba, makes me think, a lot of people might think that TWRA's rules and regulations are, just like our fishing laws, it's like, I broke it down, I think 9 different crappie limits and size limits and number limits in the state. But, You go to some of these other states. Was it you talking about Alaska?
I've done Alaska
I mean,
twice.
it's almost like
It's
you know,
very
in
complicated.
Tennessee, pretty much every body of water you go to has different regulations for, especially for bass, crackers.
Crackers,
Yeah.
not crappers.
Oh yeah, shell crop. Oh, it goes shell crappies, but there's a long story behind that. But you know, but then when you start going to some of these other states hunting, it's like every piece of ground has a different rule
Oh
on it.
yeah. They may be broke up into counties, and
A lot of them
the
it
county
takes
decide
so
this
many
one is-
points to get
That's
there.
right.
Yes.
You could
That's
take a
right.
decade or more,
that's
or
exactly
more.
right.
Yeah. Well, I know we went to Texas earlier this year on a juvenile hunt, and you know, it either had to be a spike or it had to be like 14 or 15 inches wide with a certain number of points.
And you know, like where I go to North Dakota to train bird dogs, man, I've got landowners and stuff, but I'm a non-resident. I cannot get an antelope tag, and I cannot get a deer tag.
I would
cannot,
love to get an
cannot.
antelope
And I got the land base to go,
So
but I can't.
are you can't because you just have
just a
trouble getting
non-resident.
drawn,
Non-re-
or it's just
just-
non-resident.
it's non-resident.
It's a private.
Yep.
It's a
Yep.
state
It's resident.
resident only.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of states, certain game, you know, is just, if you don't live there, you're not hunting there.
Yeah. Well, my son is really bad wanting to go. My son and my stepson are both wanting to go kill a pronghorn pretty bad.
Yeah.
So if anybody out there has any suggestions on what I can do,
Well, Roger
or where to
McMullen
go,
could probably hook you up. You
Yeah.
know, he took Mountain Man and some more guys
Well,
out
yeah.
to New Mexico.
Yeah.
And I think every one of them
And
killed,
you know,
killed
I'm a
antelope.
working
antelope
guy.
are
I'm a
fun to
working
hunt.
guy.
If you've never hunted them, they are fun to hunt.
Yeah, I
And,
mean,
you know,
we made a trip to Seattle and just going through North South Dakota, you know, all those areas.
yeah.
You would see a mountain or a hill, what I call a mountain, and it would look like it was 3 miles away, but all the antelope would be 100 yards off the highway.
Yeah.
I
They
got
would
a
be
quick
right.
antelope story. A lot of times they get white sheets when they're rutting a white, and they call in the antelope. And a lot of times when I'm running those bird dogs white, those bucks will come up towards those bird dogs,
Really?
and we have to run them off. Yeah,
No joke.
Mm-hmm.
I know, you know, they got those antelope decoy silhouettes,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
Oh, yeah.
that they use them, walk right up to
Walk
them.
right up to
right.
them.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's something that
It's a
we're
different
wanting
type
to
animal, you know.
Yeah.
Than what we're, how, you know, their own eyes and the way they do things.
And they're not called speed goats. You know, they got a reason they are
But
called
you know, they
that.
run flat.
Yeah.
So you can shoot them on the run if you're
Yeah.
a good
do.
shot.
There you go.
Yep,
You know,
sure can.
specifically, we're wanting to try to go, if I could ever make it happen, on a rifle hunt, of course.
Yep.
Just for the advantage of going.
Well,
you know,
I
with a
bet
rifle.
Dodger could probably hook you up on
I
that.
may need to speak to him because they're wanting to go pretty bad. And
Yep.
You know,
They're
there
getting-
you really need a good flat shooting gun and be well versed with it.
That that
Yeah.
was the key. What you
Be
just said. Well versed with it,
you know,
because you know.
300 yards might be. As close
Yeah,
as that might be
shot
close.
you
you're gonna
Yeah,
get.
I think.
You know,
Yeah, I was thinking he told me one of theirs was like 452
you-
or something.
You probably need to be comfortable out to 5 or longer if possible.
Yep. Yeah, because when you go out there, you know, and judging distance in those big open ranges will fool you in a heartbeat too.
You know, those antelope are not that big.
No, I know.
You-
No.
So they're fairly small target when they really start stretching out to 400 or 500 yards.
Yeah. And then to put it in the kill zone, you know, you
Yeah.
got to.
well, they're beautiful. They're a beautiful animal. And,
really
we
coarse
saw
hair.
so many when we were going through there.
Yep.
You know.
You know, it makes it going through those areas. It made it look kind of easy. Like,
You know, I'm the king of looking for sheds and deadheads.
Uh-huh.
And I have never found a deadhead antelope. And I've
Really?
looked and looked when I'm up there.
Mm-hmm.
I've looked for decades and never found one.
You found a couple weeks ago, didn't you? Or within the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I found. When was that? I can't even remember what. It was.
I know because you sent me the picture.
Picture
of
up,
it.
yeah.
Of course, you know, somebody asked me about it. Said, "Do y'all find many deadheads and stuff?" You know, down in that area,
Oh, yeah.
you know, it's just a way of life.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't even. People can say what they want, but until you live in Unit CWD, you
Right.
just can't imagine when you live in the heart of it like that. It's, I mean,
You know, I
it's,
found that 10-pointer. What do you think he scored? Mid 140s.
yeah.
Mid 140s.
Yep, sure did.
Yeah. I wonder what happened to him.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no joke. I mean, but It happens.
Yeah.
But anyway, the commission, that's pretty much it. Bubba and I, we thought basically all of West Tennessee would be under the same rules this year, but there were different groups that fought that, and I understand why they still wanted to keep the CWD deer out of any high risk, or it's only one county in West Tennessee it's not high risk or positive, and that's Benton County, if I'm not mistaken.
Sometimes it's a balancing act between trying to make everything simple or complicated. Sometimes the more complicated you really start doing things specific to a small area.
Yeah.
And it makes for more rules, but there's usually a reason.
Yeah.
Instead of the big general rule.
So
one general rule.
Yeah, that pretty much got shot down, and I don't even think it even. I think it only got brought up in committee votes, and that's it. I don't think it ever made the full commission votes.
Yeah, when you're going to have 10 different opinions from 10 different people,
oh
you
yes,
just kind of have to trust the process, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess
well, and a lot of really when they take the public input, it goes from 10 different opinions to 100 different opinions.
Yeah.
Because what they'll do when they do that, Keith, is everybody that writes their suggestion in, they list every single one of them, and then they'll put every which one kind of got the most people. I got 500 people that said cut turkey season down to one bird, or make it just white. I guess the one thing, and I don't know how that debate will ever come, but because Kentucky's only a $1 just about, they want Tennessee to become a $1, and of course, I remember we used to kill $10.
Well, it's a little difference if it's a $1 in a 2-week season.
That's right.
And it's a $1 and it's a 6-month season.
Well,
that's right.
That's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
I enjoy the hunt. I don't want to be, hopefully, never get stuck in an area where, like Iowa, they have only a couple 1-week hunts.
That's right.
And I like the process of going.
See, and I would rather just have a short season and really have a higher probability of. I don't mind a short season.
I'm like Keith.
You like the longer season?
I like to go.
Well, how I like to go, because most times
I
I'm
like
sitting
to
there
do other
talking to you.
things other than
I
deer
know,
hunt,
but I mean, at that time of year, I don't duck hunt anymore, and I love just watching the world wake up from a deer house every morning.
Yeah, that's.
And plus,
So many people need to experience that.
It's like an opportunity to, might see a coyote, might see a bobcat. Either one of them will make my day.
That's right.
But even if I don't see either one of them, as long as I can see a critter, and I mean, it's just.
Well, I saw a mangy coyote today.
Did you?
Mangy. Looked pitiful.
And no weapon to take care of it.
I didn't have anything.
You were on the tractor?
Yeah.
That's when you see a lot of them.
I know.
You sure do. That's for sure. All right, let me see. All right, Bubba, might as well talk about this. This time of year, every year, you and I both going to start getting calls about fawns and other.
Yeah. Well, let's go over just deer fawns right off the get-go. And we've already touched base with it. With CWD on the landscape, we do not rehab fawns. We're not going to move deer across the landscape.
So when Mary Jo calls and says there's a fawn out here and its mama got hit by a car, basically what's going to happen when you call is that fawn is probably going to be put down.
Probably.
Because you cannot move that fawn.
We cannot be moving live deer across the landscape.
That's right.
We just can't do it. And that's throughout the state. We're just not
so
going to do
just know that up front before you make that call.
And,
because
and a lot of times people, I understand, nobody likes to see anything suffer.
That's right.
But the reality of nature is that's how nature is. Nature, it can be cruel, it can be harsh, it can be violent, it can be deadly. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah. And if you do find that fawn in your yard, and for some reason, even in towns, I mean, it's like a lot of the deer, it's almost like they've evolved to know that if they go have that fawn in a residential area, that it's going to be pretty safe right there.
Intelligent creatures.
Yes.
Really, I tell people, you can touch a fawn and it's really not going to affect anything.
That's
Worst case scenario, go put it in a shaded area.
Yeah.
And wish it the best.
Yeah, because, I mean, when it gets 100 degrees and it's laying out just in a wide open big yard, you really, like Bubba said, just pick it up, move it to a shaded area. That mama will find
Yes.
that.
And you
that
know,
fawn.
this is where a lot of people don't understand animal behavior. They think the mama would be with the fawn, and that's just not how it works. The mama's going to try to be away from the fawn so it doesn't attract the predators. Comes there, feeds the fawn, then leaves.
That's right.
Comes there, feeds the fawn, then leave until the fawn is big enough and strong enough to go with the mother. Until that time, she is not going to be there much.
She may only come around at what, 2-3 times a day.
2 or 3 times a day, and the rest of the time,
to let it get milk, and then it's going to lay back down motionless.
And then she's out of there until it, and that's how they evolve. And a lot of people just see that and think the mother has abandoned the fawn.
Yeah.
And that's the farthest thing from the truth.
Yeah.
That just doesn't happen.
And I know we talk about it every year, but it never fails. The calls will start coming in on that.
And it's not just fawns. It's
And you got baby fox.
baby foxes. We got
kids.
We got a lot of baby birds that are in the yard. We just have to let these things,
Squirrels, raccoons.
Let nature be nature.
let nature be nature.
That's right, because you can't save them all, and legally you can't
Yeah,
anyway.
we live in a rescue society, and we're so far removed from the natural order of things and how it should be. We need to remember that nature is nature.
Because once you take that animal in, and it depends on you, but you basically domesticated that animal, and it will not make it back out in the wild.
From there, at least give it a shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm sure that even after we say this, my phone's fixing to be ringing off the hook.
Yeah, I know it will. I know. Well, I just want to touch brief. I know my weekend, Sunday and Monday, I got to go to Savannah in Hardin County, and I got to hunt with Cody Waddell. Cody's the manager out here at Bolivar Ford, which I work out Bolivar Ford now, but he and went with his sons, and I tell you, went with Case Sunday, he's 9 years old, and then went with Chet yesterday, 5 years old.
Awesome.
And
Awesome
it was
stuff.
Chet's first hunt, first turkey hunt, and but my hat's off to Cody. I'm going to tell you, I'm around kids a lot, and seeing, but those kids, they're
well mannered.
yeah. Well, I mean, that Chet, he did take off running, but every time Cody told him to be quiet, he was quiet, just sitting on the ground, and it was cold. And in Case, though, he where I was sitting, I couldn't see it, but we had fired up a bunch of jakes and hens, and of course, he would have popped a jake in a heartbeat. Yeah. But had a hen come up, and I never saw it where I was sitting. And but Cody said it probably wasn't 5 foot from the end of his gun barrel, and said Case was going, "Can I shoot it?" "No, you can't shoot it. It don't have a beard." And but I just want to give a shout out to Cody on that. Cody, man, I really enjoyed that. And the thing that tickled me the most was yesterday morning we pulled up, and I mean it's still dark, and we're having to walk down this dead end road, and so I take off walking where I can get away from any noise in case I can hear one gobbling. Yeah. Well, I look, and here comes Chet, little 5-year-old. He's walking with me. Of course, his dad's still up there getting stuff out of the truck, He didn't, and I had just met him, 30 minutes before.
Oh, yeah.
So he's just walking down the road with me. And then he looked back and he said, "Wonder where he is." I said, "He'll be here." "Oh yeah, he'll be here." So we just kept right on going. Cody caught up with us.
That's great stuff.
But yeah, we had a good time. And Keith, you killed your first turkey the other day.
My first bird. Had a blast. It just was. It was amazing, actually.
And you was fortunate because you got to kill goblin birds. The two that I took. I mean, one of them he gobbled on the roost, but I killed him like 2 or 3 hours later.
Right.
And then the other one, he came in silent. But tell us real quick about your bird.
Well, real quick, went to a farm. I was supposed to done some food plots that morning, and it was a little wet. So about 9:30 or so, we decided, hey, it's just too wet to plant. And I thought, well, I already had a picture of a bird on one of my farms that morning, he and a hen.
Man, those cell cams are amazing.
They are amazing. But anyway, I go out there. I sit from, I don't know, close to 10 to 1:30. Nothing's going on. It's just quiet. And so I decided to run into town real quick and grab a sandwich. Saw a few birds on another farm that I hunt on the way in. So in the direction they were going, I decided to grab a sandwich, eat real quick. I come in the back side of that farm, and just gave it about 30 minutes. Heard nothing, saw nothing. So I decided to go back to my ground blind where I was hunting that morning. And it was 3 o'clock when I got in. And about the time I set up, I got the box call out, hit it.
And which box call was you using?
I used the Ridge, the
Deception Ridge Runner?
Ridge Runner. Yeah, it's the one I used.
I couldn't remember if it was that one or the Heartbreak.
Yeah, it was the Ridge Runner.
Okay.
And instantly, one gobbled over my left shoulder. And of course, I get chill bumps right now thinking about it. I'm thinking, oh Lord, here I am. You know, I am such a beginner at this, and we're gonna play it out. So I, you know, you told me when we went hunting, the key to it's patience. The key to turkey hunting is patience.
That's a dang
So I did. I hit him one more time.
Well, if you know that, you're well ahead of most.
Yep.
But my curiosity was getting the best of me, so I hit that box call one more time. Bam, gobbled again. I thought, okay, the bird's there. I know where it is. It's on the ridge behind me. And so about 15 minutes had passed, and down the road I heard a guy crank a lawnmower, and all of a sudden the lawnmower backfired, and a bird gobbled over my right shoulder. I thought, what in the world? Well, so I'm thinking that it's the same bird, and it's working that ridge a little bit, trying to, because it from where it was, it could see down in the edge of the field where my blind was. And I thought, well, he's working that ridge trying to find that hen. And then all of a sudden, 5 minutes later, a dog barks. This one gobbled over my left shoulder. That one over my right shoulder gobbled, and then one across the ditch gobbled. I'm thinking, man, I got 3 birds out here. So for 2 hours, about every 20 minutes, I just hit that call real light. They'd hammer off. And this goes on for 2 hours, and I decided that I better just be quiet, let it happen. And sure enough, you know, a little before 6, I guess, I hear something to my left, and I kind of lean back and look out of my left blind window. Jake walks out, and then the next bird, I see it limping, and as it's limping, I see that beard shaking. And oh, it just...
How far was it?
10 yards.
10
Like,
yards.
see, whatever
10
it was, he
11,
about
12.
blew his head off.
Yeah, I know. Sure
And,
did.
But anyway, then I had 2 more Jakes come out. One of them had a decent beard on it, but I was keyed in on that one, and I leaned up and kind of looked out of my side window, and I had a tree limb that come down with foliage on it, so I could see through it. I knew I was hidden good, and I thought, okay, they just have to clear that. That's exactly where they're heading. So I kind of leaned back. I put my gun on the shooting stick. I looked back through the window, and a Jake had already cleared it, but I just kind of eased up and had that gun barrel out. Man, he just walked right into it, and the rest wasn't much flop at all.
I imagine not.
Yeah. Kind of ruined you, didn't it?
Well, it did.
Yeah,
It was
I'm
a
telling you.
blast.
I know.
It was a blast.
I know. It is. I can't believe it's already 7:30.
Yeah, 7:30.
Hey, Apex Outdoor Rewards. They're our premier sponsor, and I'm telling you, there's a Facebook group now, Apex Outdoor Rewards. Go in it, sign up. Man, you see a lot of good birds from a bunch of states on there right now.
Yeah.
But it's still not too late to sign up too, and they reduced the price from $125 to $75. If you're first time, you get this turkey tool. It's got a scale on it. You measure your beard, your spurs. You can even use it as a turkey toter also to tote him out of the woods with it. The way it's scored is 1 times the weight, 2 times the beards. It's got 5 beards. You add them all up and you multiply it, double it. And the spurs is 10 times the spur length. So, for 1-inch spurs on both of them, that's 20 is what it counts right there. But it's active in the following states: Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, New York, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Virginia, West Virginia, and Wisconsin. But it's not too late. As a matter of fact, when you sign up, they're giving away weekly prizes, and they're good prizes too. But go to apexoutdoorrewards.com to sign up for that. Deception Scent, old Parrish, he's still up at Bigger Buck Outfitters. I think when I talked to him the other day, I think they had taken 10 already up there. Maybe more than that by now. But they have a complete line of scent eliminating products. Got 2 of them hanging up here. the Pure Marine, Deception Scent. They have the Pure RV, the Fast Gas in every version, the Pure 100. That have many turkey calls. I mean, and developing more deer calls, duck calls. You can pretty much purchase anything they have on Amazon, Shields, their Walmart. I know carries the Pure Marine.
That's right.
Bill Dance is on board. You know, you watch the new Bill Dance, Outdoors with Bill Dance. You're going to see a Pure Marine commercial on there. So, I mean, it's good stuff. Highly recommend it. And some of the calls they got, you know, like I say, you was using the
Oh, yeah.
that Ridge Runner.
That Ridge Runner.
Yeah. So, all right, Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Go to www.tmwildlife.org for information, and be sure to follow TWRA on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And you can go to their site on Facebook, and I mean, gosh, Bo, they make posts about every day on stuff.
Yeah.
You
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah.
There's something
And
every day.
I mean, it's about fishing rodeos, kayaking events. I mean, it's, gosh, I guess everything that y'all do.
Yeah, keep you in the loop of what's happening.
Yep. So I highly suggest doing that. Hey, Threeway Processing, you know, I mean, we talk about it every week, but David Tyndall is not going to be at Threeway where he's been the last several years. And he thinks he's got a spot nailed down, but it's kind of getting a little iffy right now. He may not. So, you know, and for the sake of all the deer hunters, I hope he does, because it's going to hurt deer hunting in West Tennessee if David's not doing it.
Yeah.
It's going to
Yeah, because, I mean, I know
severely hurt.
a lot of the other processors are trying to increase their capacity, but it's those peak times around Thanksgiving. You know, it's a couple times a year that most of the processors fill up. And even David did, to where, you know, he would make a Facebook post, say, okay, I can take 28 deer.
That's right.
You know,
That's
and
right.
then they're normally sitting in the parking lot when he does that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, within 5 minutes. And so, but that's going to hurt. But he is still looking for a place, 5,000 to 6,000 square feet building, or 5 to 15 acres to purchase. The land or building must be in Madison, Gibson, Haywood, or Crockett County. If you can help David out with any of this, call him at 731-432-9076.
All right. We have Baker Glass Shop. Stop by and see Corey Madden for all your glass needs. Auto, big trucks, heavy machinery. Contact Corey at 731-658-4510. And he is located at 321 East Market Street here in Bolivar, Tennessee.
And he's fixing to put me a new windshield in. He called me, texted me
need to call
yesterday,
him.
and said that he got it in because
What happened to yours?
I had a rock peck right up behind the rearview mirror, and now it's done run all the way down right in my line of sight.
I
So
wonder if he does insurance claims too. Surely he does.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
a
he
glass
does.
shop.
Yeah, he does.
My wife coming back from Middle Tennessee the other day got a rock peck in her window, so I
Yeah,
need to.
and
I need to
he's
call him.
also got that little machine
Yeah.
thing that can fix.
because it's not real big.
Yeah, because I had them do that on 2 of mine on my truck, and they hadn't
Yep.
run yet, and that's been
Well, I need.
But see,
to,
I didn't
6,
even
7 years
never
ago.
know that I had a rock peck. I just saw the run, and then he looked up there because you couldn't see it, but it was right where the rearview mirror attaches to the
it
windshield.
was right behind. You never knew. It
I
was
never
behind
knew
that.
it, yeah.
But see, hers is right above your eyesight. It's not. It's just small, about like a pinhead. But
Yeah.
you know how it is. Those things will start spreading.
Yeah,
so I
but go
need
by
to-
and check Corey
I
out.
need
When
to-
you
I
do,
need-
tell him you heard about him on our show
I'll do
right
it.
here.
I'll definitely do it. We have Second Amendment Outdoors, your one-stop shopping for all your outdoor needs. Guns, ammo, fishing tackle, clothes, boots, and much more. Mark Austin and his great staff will take good care of you. Contact Mark at 662-594-8687, and that's 2804A Highway 72 West in Corinth, Mississippi. Big Hill Pond Boat Sales and Repair. Go see Kenny Fortune for all your boating needs, sales or repair. He also has firearms and fishing tackle. Contact Kenny at 731-645-4384. He's at 9282 Highway 57 in Raymer, Tennessee. We have the Lynnhurst Family Resort, and once again, like we mentioned earlier, if you mention to them that you got their number or from Tennessee Outside, you get a 10% discount. So Lynnhurst is located on the Blood River, and inlet of Kentucky Lake. You can stay in one of their cabins, condos, in the motel, or at one of their campsites. They also have pontoons, jet skis, and golf cart rentals. Book by calling Dennis Helmuth at 270-436-2345 or 606-341-3399.
And then if you mention Tennessee Outside Show, get 10% off.
That's correct.
10%.
Prym1 Camo, the ultimate concealment solutions for the outdoorsman and woman that need to blend into their surroundings. Go to prym1camo.com and check out all their products. Their 20% off code is HERO1. And then you have myself, which is Wildlife Addiction Food Plot Services. You can reach me at 731-780-HUNT, which is 4868.
If you can't get him, he's turkey hunting.
Man, I've got to get in the field. I've got to. This rain's killing me. You can also reach me at 731-780-6426. And we offer just a full line of turnkey. We can do turnkey food plots, whether it be, any kind of native grass, anything for ducks, deer, turkey, you name it, we can do it. We can spray, I can come out and fertilize, we can prep ground for you. You name it, we can do as little as you want to a full turnkey job.
He can come out and tell you where to put your deer stands.
Absolutely. We can come out and do farm consults and man, if you need any help, give myself a call. I can call you if they need to. You know how to reach me.
Yeah, I sure will. I've done it many times.
We'll be more than happy to help you out.
Hey, I just want to mention about the Prym1 Camo. They got that new old school camo, but in the Prym1 pattern.
Really?
And it looks good. Been a lot of people wearing it.
Yeah.
So and they was running a 40% off their whole page, all their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they still are, but I do know they were. Tell you what, before we get into turkey number, is that it, Keith?
That's it.
Okay.
That has got us covered.
All right. I noticed I rode by Kenny Fortune's the other day just on the highway, and if you ain't got your boat ready fixed by now, boy, you've kind of done missed out. It's still a lot of good fishing left, that's for sure. I noticed they're still catching a lot of stripes at Pickwick. My cousin Greg Treese from Selmer, he's posting they've been catching the limit every time he goes fishing from the bank.
Yeah.
He sure has. All right, we got this, and we've heard a little bit about it, but we hadn't heard any of the details. Pete Boyd, there was a girl, don't know the age, but she was in a kayak on Percy Priest. I believe in a, what's that? No, somebody, and I guess it looks like a Sea-Doo ran over. I did hear about that. Yeah. And, a runabout, I guess that's the same thing, isn't it?
No.
It's not, what's a runabout? I don't even know.
It's not a seated.
Well, I mean, what, jet ski or something? It's not?
No.
Well, I'm not sure what a runabout is, but anyway, it ran over, but she didn't have a life jacket on, according to this. But I hadn't seen any official report on that. But I did hear some people on Facebook talking about this, and that
I don't know anything official.
That is so sad. Of course, if you get run over by a boat, it may not matter if you got a life jacket or not. Who can't tell? But
a runabout is for day cruising and water sports, outboard engine or stern drive engine.
Yeah.
And they look like ski boats.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
Okay. All right. Then here's one from my buddy Tim Emerton. I went to the police academy with him. He lives up at Livingston up there. Do doe deer traditionally have buck and doe fawns?
Have a buck and a doe fawn.
Yeah, have a buck and
I guess he's thinking 1 and 1.
Yeah.
They say traditionally there's a few more bucks than it is.
That's what I've always
A
heard.
few more bucks than they are.
It's kind of
like 52, 48.
It's kind of like Mother Nature's way of kind of restocking the bucks or something.
Well, the bucks are the ones that are going to disperse out.
Right.
So, in general.
But I know, I have seen fawns that had 2 doe fawns.
Yeah,
I have seen some that had 2 bucks fawns,
Right, right.
But I have seen plenty that's had a buck in it.
Oh, I have too. And they're pretty easy to tell.
I bet you it's going to be about 50% of the time.
Because a lot of times by October, you can tell because the buttonhead, he's going to be a little bigger than his sister is. He sure is. What you got, Janet?
A runabout is a smaller recreational ski boat.
Smaller.
Okay. Yeah, I remember reading about that.
Also, I've noticed if 2 fawns are coming into a food plot, the young one, the one that comes in first, is usually a buck. Seems like he's a little
More frisky.
more
Or-
aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know. Of course, I have seen those button bucks by the end of the season. They get pretty
Yes.
wound
That's
up.
right.
With rut.
I've seen button bucks.
Just,
It's like
yeah.
it'll be either low light conditions, or even if it's not, you just sitting there. And of course, I know, Bubba, you can do it. A lot of people do it, but if you've seen as many deer as we had, you can see a deer and look at it just the way it's especially
fast.
if it's got that little lope. You can tell that's a buck.
Man, it's something about the way they walk. You can,
Yeah, it's different than a
it's
doe.
Yeah, so you can do. You just look at so many people. People seem to don't realize it, but they do that to people. You see somebody walking at a long distance, you can tell if it's a guy or a girl.
That's right.
A lot of times at a distance.
Right.
It's the same way with.
Yeah, it
the
sure
same way
is.
with a lot of species.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, Jason Surratt, which I think he's been out about West turkey hunting. I think he.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, Iowa is.
But
a draw.
Iowa is a draw hunt.
And
Yeah.
that is now for a buck tag. It's a draw. If you have a group of guys that you were wanting to go to Iowa with, and y'all went in as a group, and somebody, 2 or 3 in that group were drawn, and you want to just go purchase a doe tag to tag along, you can do that legally. But
Okay.
you don't have to be drawn for a doe tag. They have limited amount of doe tags, but you can purchase one.
Okay.
We got to get over these turkeys.
Yeah.
numbers.
Yeah. Bubba, go ahead and start it off, and then but just so everybody know, the first thing we're going to go over is just comparing year to date. Today's date, how many turkeys been killed versus last year today's date. Bubba's going to take care of that, and then I'm going to go back and just do it because we've had 20 days to turkey hunt. So I'm going to do from the first 20 days this season versus the last year's first 20 days.
So we'll explain as we go through. So what I'm going to tell you is this date as compared to a year ago.
This date.
Last year we killed 26,915, and this year we've harvested 26,308. So we're actually down 607 birds, or we're down 2.3% on date to date.
And boy, that's not bad. 2 weeks.
No, that's
less.
not, yeah. Our Jake harvest is down substantially. Last year it was 4,055. This year 2,714. So it's down 1,341, or down 33%. Our bearded hen is down 41%. But that's year to year.
Yeah.
I'll let you take the first 20 days.
Yeah, okay. So the first 20 days, this year we've killed 20,308. Last year, the first 20 days, we only had 20,859. So we are up 5,449 birds, or 26%. Now, last week we did this, it was on 13 days, we was up 41, and now it's 26%. And I feel like some of that's got to do with the 2 bird limit. Some of it does.
Yeah.
But on the jakes, this year we've taken 2,714 jakes. Last year, the first 20 days, it was 3,075. So we're down 361 jakes, or down 12%. And the biggest, it's 134 bearded hens this year. Last year, first 20 days, we had 179. So we're down 45 from last year, or 25% for that. So
I'm telling you, just these Jake numbers, if we go back where there used to be so many, next year we won't have the number of 2-year-old birds on the landscape. We're not going to have the number of 2-year-old birds on the landscape that we had this year.
I don't think we will either. And that will affect the harvest.
Yes.
But the only thing it might, well, it would still be 2-year-old, but just the pure number that's harvested because of the 2 bird limit. All right, go ahead and knock out the top 10.
All right, top 10. This is date to date. Number 10, weekly, coming in at 476, and that's down 37 from this time last year. Number 9, Sumner County, 494, up 12 from last year. Number 8, Hickman, jumping up into 500s. 510, Last year, 426, up 84. Number 7, Giles County, 512. Last year, 426, up 86. Number 6, Wilson County, coming in at 524. Last year, 640, so it's down 116. Number 5, Rutherford County, 525. Last year, 627, down 102. Number 4, Montgomery County, coming in at 551. Last year, 596, down 45. Number 3, Dixon County, jumping up above 600, 626. Last year, 700, down 74. Number 2, Greene County, way jump up to 755. Last year, 776, down 21. And our number 1 Turkey Harvest County so far has been Maury County, coming in at 819. Last year, they had 983. So even our number 1 county is down 164 birds from this time last year.
And that's date to date.
Date to date.
But now we're going to do the top 10, just the first 20 days. Weakley County is actually up 56 birds. And matter of fact, all the top 10 are up. Sumner County is up 100 birds. The biggest increase was Hickman County. 510 so far this year. First 20 days last year, only 359, so 351, so that's up 159. Giles County is up 86. Wilson County is up 22. Rutherford County, number 5, is up 40. Montgomery County, number 4, is up 79. Dixon County is up 70. Greene County, 755 this year. 634 last year, up 121. And even Maury County, 819 last year, the first 20 days, only 749, so it's up 70 birds.
One thing that just sort of jumps out at me, our top 10 counties, the first 20 days, every county is up.
That's right.
So,
yeah.
And I figured, it's going to start slowing down as we get closer to mid-May.
And that's what because last year it closed mid-May.
Yeah.
So basically what they did, they took 2 weeks off the front of the season and then loaded it up on the back end. Yeah. So just the way the percent is trending from 41 down to 26.
That may half by next week.
Yeah, it might.
That's right.
I still think we're going to have a record harvest over last year, but
it's going to be close.
I think it's still going to get there.
It's going to be very close. Hey, also, some people asked me about how the WMAs are faring, so I went ahead and I looked that up too. So far, it's been 1,826 taken, and so we're down 206, and that's all the WMAs. And I went ahead and I just kind of broke it down. Not screenshot that. The AEDC, they've taken 47 birds. Last year, they'd taken 83. LBL, 42. Last year, only 28. The ones that's really is North Cumberland, 108. That's the most of any WMA so far this year. Last year, they was at 171, but like I say, with the delayed season opening up. But overall, they were up 257, and they're up 16% from the first 20 days. So, the numbers, they're kind of correlating like that.
I'm going to tell you, Middle Tennessee holds a lot of birds, doesn't it?
Boy, it does.
Golly, Bill.
Yeah. Do you have the count for the quota hunts, particularly in Natchez Trace?
You going to say hi to Tracy, Miss Jenny?
I don't have that right now, Thomas, but
I just noticed it.
if Bubba and Keith go talk, I
noticed
can
she was
tell you
watching.
real quick what those numbers are for Natchez Trace.
One thing about these turkeys, it's fixing to. We've had cool mornings and cool days. It's fixing to get up in the 80s and the lows in the 60s, and so things are going to start slowing down. Not that you couldn't still get a hot bird, but every day will probably be a little less gobbling activity, especially after May 15th.
And then plus two, the way these fields are
Oh,
starting.
and there's some fields, especially some, that getting to where hard to work, really high fields, ticks or chiggers are just abundant out there right now.
Yep. All right. So far, Thomas, it looks like it's been 24 birds taken off Natchez Trace, and it don't break it down to the north zone or the south zone the way the quota hunts did, but it looks like it's 24 birds taken already on that.
He said it's been logged to death. Very sad situation.
Yeah.
LBL? Is that what you're talking
No.
about?
Natchez
Natchez
Trace.
Trace. I'm sorry, I did hear that.
Natchez Trace.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I'd have pulled all of them up because I'm curious to see what Chickasaw has done too. I didn't look at that, but I know it is. Okay. What else you got, Bubba, over there? We got about 6-7 minutes.
One thing I want to go back and touch on, you touched base with Justin Larson early in that Premier Farm Realty Group. Anybody, looking for a piece of ground, be sure to check out their website and be sure and give Justin a call.
I hate to say it, but I know you've seen it in your lifetime, Keith. I know you have because you've been in West Tennessee your whole life like I had, but I tell you, man, places to hunt is getting hard and harder to find.
It's tough.
It's tough.
I tell my wife all the time I'd love to buy, if I could just buy 50 acres in the right place,
Man,
I would be tickled to death.
Hey, you know what? I did tell my turkey hunting story. Story. I was riding a 2-year-old colt, didn't have a gun or anything, and I looked, and here come 3 longbeards, right behind my house, and I'm like, man, I know where they're going. Took the colt, took them in the barn, went in the house, got the gun, and was walking back out, and I looked, and they were already going. They were walking, and I knew they were going to cross. I just couldn't beat them to it.
Couldn't beat them there.
So I was hoping, man, if I could have got there, I could have killed a turkey with spurs on. I don't know how many. I'd have had spurs, and he'd have had spurs, but I couldn't get there quick enough. Sometimes it happens like that. You just look, and man, there's 3 of them. They never said a word. I just happened to look, and there they were.
Well, that one's been hanging out there in front of your house. That one day, I bet that bird didn't move 100 yards all day long, did he? Because I come by around noon and he was out there. When I saw him, didn't even have a hen with him.
Yeah, and he showed up. He had 1 hen, then 2 hens for about 2 or 3 days. But I heard him gobbling. Well, I heard one gobbling over there this morning.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'll tell you, it's. I don't like the 2 birds, but that's just me.
And I do.
But I'm still going to be out there because just like this weekend, I was out there filming. I'm going to be filming every weekend. I just, I want to get you on film for a season over. You can get on some more birds.
I know, man. But I'm going to tell you, I want to go so bad, but I have got to get in that tractor, and this weather is killing me.
Yeah.
So,
turkey season is not made for people that try to work outside and get stuff done, because it's really a good time to be getting all those projects and everything's happening right now.
Well,
it's
Chickasaw has taken 10 birds this year already.
They've already taken 10.
Yeah, that's kind of surprised me.
Yeah.
I hope I looked up the right Chickasaw.
Not Chickasaw National Wildlife. National Wildlife Refuge, because that can be confusing.
And that's what I did.
Yeah,
I looked up Chickasaw Wildlife Refuge.
Yeah,
so they've taken 10 down there. I sure did. I looked the wrong one up. Yeah.
But it's and it is time. I know deer season it's not till months away. But
You got sunflowers popping up out of the ground,
I
though.
sure do, and I'm tickled death over it, too.
And I tell you what, these sunflowers and stuff are really going to start popping when it got lows in the 60s, highs in the 80s.
That's
got some
right.
moisture on them.
That's right.
Yeah, they're really going to start popping. A lot of stuff's going to start popping.
Have you put any corn in yet, Keith?
Not yet. No, my corn is just something I do last. Like we said before, it's there for hunting purposes, and so I kind of push the corn back to last. My sunflower has to go in. I've got some to plant tomorrow. I've got. I need to get down to the the range farm here and take care of the beans. It's time to transfer over from sunflower to beans.
Yeah.
Just trying.
Have you already got corn seed?
I don't, but I have access to it.
Okay.
Pretty quickly, and today I ordered all my powder type fertilizer for my liquid, and I ordered some of my post-emerge stuff to go ahead and get it in for the soy. I mean, not for the soybeans because they're all Roundup ready, but for the sunflower.
Do you like the liquid fertilizer over the pellet?
I do, but only because of, and we'll discuss that next week, and I'll kind of explain that
Okay.
on my no-till stuff.
Okay.
I do inoculate. You know, the inoculation helps pull the natural nitrogen from the air in, and it gives a little germination boost because of what it does to the soil.
I got you.
And then once the sunflower gets up and gets, you know, so many leaves on it, it's time to. I use the sunflower seed I use. You can use herbicides on it. So
Okay.
Cleth and a product called Beyond. It's for broadleaf. So
All right. I know later on, you know, one of our shows, one of the guys that's on the deception team, Chase Gregg, we're going to try to get him down here. We're going to talk about bears one night.
Okay.
it'd be fun.
And
Fun.
and with that being said, if anybody out there, if y'all have a topic or a subject y'all would like us
Or
to,
guest.
yeah, or even a guest that you want to recommend,
Absolutely.
yes,
Recommend a guest.
You know, let's get them on here and talk about it. I mean, we like discussing anything going on with the outdoors of Tennessee. It don't, you know,
Don't matter if it's fishing, hunting, deer,
trot lining. Which,
Yeah.
You know, I guarantee you, trot lining on the Hatchie River's coming up. I know
Yeah.
there's a tournament coming up here before long, and on the Hatchie. But you know, it's a lot of people that put trot lines out on the Hatchie. I remember used to,
Me
you know,
and my grandfather.
when I was a kid, I couldn't wait to wake up. You know, and go down through there and be a little fog on the water and see that limb moving like that.
Yeah.
We just don't have as many people that do that.
There's
anymore.
No.
It's-
Just a
it's-
very,
Yeah.
very.
Hey, my
it's a
grandfather
handful.
ran nets. You know, he had a
Yeah.
commercial's
It's a-
license, and I
it's
still
a
have
hand-
old net. But
It's a handful of people left. When I started, it was
Yeah.
a lot, and it was already on the decline when I started in the early '90s.
Yeah, and it's funny.
It's like in the
because-
'70s and '80s, it was really a
Oh,
lot.
See,
Yes.
that's-
and that's when I was always
that's
on
when I
it.
was with my
Late
grandfather.
'60s and up to the mid '70s.
That's right.
I remember I used to go with Mr. Ed Webster, Wayne's daddy, and he had commercial fishing, you know, and of course, me being a kid, I don't even know if I was supposed to be with him because I know you're supposed to have
I had a
helper's
helper's
license or
license,
something.
right.
Yeah, but I never did. But I'd go with him,
Yeah.
and I remember one day we was after we checked a net or two, we was going to run a trot line. And it was a gar, and I think he got it mounted, and it stayed out west.
Oh, really? Got
Yeah,
that
it,
big?
it jumped in the boat with us. It sure did. It jumped off in the boat with
Well,
us.
we can't beat a guard jumping in the boat. That's a good place to end.
Well, it sure is. All
Be
right.
safe, everybody.
Yeah,
It's
be safe,
it's-
boating.
It's
Turkey
warming up.
hunting.
People are getting on the
Yeah.
water a little bit more, so
Yeah.
please be safe.
Yes.
Yeah, it's lucky Janet's here tonight. We had to do 2 runs together today working, and it's pretty trying.
Y'all rode together?
Oh, yeah.
Twice.
Twice. I like that. Not once, twice. Twice.
All right, Keith, you got anything, brother?
that's
Final
it.
closing?
No, just everybody have a good rest of your week and be safe.
Yeah, and Bubby, you got anything else?
Yep.
Hey, be safe out on that water because I know the temperature's warmed up. It's going to be a lot of people. We got some new changes coming up. It's going to happen July 1st with the boating laws.
Yep.
And we're going to try to get TWRA officer on there to talk about them. A lot of people may not like it, but, you know, I mean, we've had a lot of fatalities, and we need to do something. But, all right, like I say, please let us know if y'all got a guest in mind or a subject y'all want us to cover. We'd be glad to do it. And other than that, we'll see y'all next week. Appreciate all of our viewers, sponsors, and these awesome Facebook groups. All right, Randy Walls must have said something.
Courtney, thank you, girl.
Oh, gosh. All right. She had to say something about me, I guarantee you.
Yeah.
Said she
Yeah.
deserves some help. Good night, guys.
All right, we'll see y'all next week. Boy,